What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dawg House Podcast with their host, JayRod and
JDawg.
We are back at it again. We have finally reunited. I've been away on a road trip for the past 3 weeks. I've had a blast, and now you guys are going to hear all of my dumb shit I've done.
Oh, yeah.
We had some topics that we wanted to talk about initially.
Yes, but I don't even know where to start. Like, what do you want to start with? The trip?
I could start with the trip, but was there something on your mind that you said you were going to wait until the cameras were on?
Oh, it was completely irrelevant.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say, there was like at least 3 times where while you were gone, at least 3 times where I sent you a picture of the moon. I was like, someone was fired this morning. I don't know why I thought of that, but I was like, I'll wait to say that.
The moon while the sun's out.
The moon in the morning. Yeah. Whenever I see the moon in the morning, I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you. And sometimes I'll send it to Brady as well. And it's like, damn, they just hired someone yesterday. He's already fired because someone got to turn off the moon because I think it's weird how it's out in the morning. Anyway,
that's pretty much that would be the only time I heard from you. It would just be like a picture of the moon. Like, fuck are these people doing? I was away. Did a road trip with Nicky Rod. Every weekend we did 3 sessions in 2 days. We did this in New Mexico. We did this in Salt Lake City, Utah, and we did this in Rapid City, South Dakota. Pretty much took off straight to New Mexico from Austin. There's about, I want to say, 11-hour drive to New Mexico to where we were teaching at. Taught there that weekend, and then immediately took off to Moab. This is the highlight.
Yeah, I could already guess it was not from the videos I saw.
I absolutely love Moab. Now,
Moab, is that the name of the desert or the area?
It's like a town.
A town.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Or I guess like city technically.
Yep.
It's very small. With that being said,
yeah.
But it's in Utah. When I first went to Utah, I went to Salt Lake City. Fucking beautiful, and I was like, wow, I want to explore this place. But I was there for Fightpass, so I didn't really have much time. So we have free will now.
You were there for fight,
or not for Fightpass, but for Nick's. They took Nick to do media at a UFC fight.
Oh.
And he brought me there to teach a seminar and to train with him. And this was a few days before his fight with Michael Pixley.
It's been that long?
Yeah.
Oh, y'all left before the Michael Pixley fight?
No. That was a separate trip.
Oh, okay.
That was a separate
I was going to
trip.
say, I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was a separate trip. And then when we were there, I'm like, wow, I love this place.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? So we end up in Moab, where we're Dorian.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Dorian?
Yes.
So Dorian hooks us up. He's from Kazakhstan.
Mm-hmm.
Hooks us up with. He owns almost like an apartment complex out there. So there's not much going on in this city. It's pretty much one road, and the strip. It's a very small strip. Free restaurants, hotels, and just places for like dune buggy rentals. Like that's pretty much it.
Wow.
That's the entire thing. And then you got all these national parks all around. And we stay in this place. It was so nice. It was so nice.
The apartment?
The apartment.
Really?
We stood in an apartment. So I'm going from like I'm cheaping out on these hotels because I've spent so much money on this trip.
Mm-hmm. And the less money you make, the less money you spend, the more money you come back home with.
Exactly. So I'm trying to like not nickel and dime, but I'm trying to like be mindful of the money I'm spending.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, Dorian lets us stay in his place. We both get our own apartment.
Was this planned, or was he just happened to be there?
So no. So it was planned. Yeah. So
okay.
Nick reached out to Dorian and kind of hooked it up. He had invited us prior. He was like, yeah, if you guys ever want to come. So he also stood there. So we get there. He's like, hey, like, I know you guys have been wanting to come, so I got you guys these rooms. And he opens up the door, and it's me, my woman, and my dog. So that's it. All we need is one room. I think we had 3 bedrooms, two bathrooms, a kitchen,
Wow.
two patios, and yeah, I mean it was beautiful, laundry room and everything. It was full blown apartment.
It's like a townhouse at that point. Just
yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome, and yeah, I'm very thankful for Dorian for hooking us up with that. Also, he hooks us up with dune buggies.
God.
So he's like, yeah, you guys like let's go out, whatever. We go riding with him and a brother of his, as well as another owner of the complex, and yeah, we just go out. We go take them off-roading off to the sand, and you can take them from the car, from the apartment complex. You can drive them on the road. You can grab gas and you can drive them to wherever you're off-roading them.
That's
so you
sick.
don't need to put them on a trailer or anything.
Oh wow, that's convenient.
Super convenient.
Yeah, that's nice.
So yeah, we just hop on the road, take off like 10 minutes down the road to an off-road spot, and we're just gunning it.
Dude,
gunning
I
it.
saw some of the videos. I was like, holy cow.
Now that
you ever rode something like that?
So I rode a side-by-side once before when I was
call it a side-by-side.
Side-by-side, yeah. So I rode it once before when I was pretty young, to the point where I was short, right? So I was riding a dirt bike, and my cousin has a side-by-side, and the side-by-side is covered in dirt. The window's covered in dirt, and I'm like, they're like, oh, go ride it. And I'm like, oh, I get in. I'm like, oh, I can't see. Like, I can't drive it. And they're like, oh, no. Put the window down. And the window goes down, and it's still in front of my face, right? I'm just too short. And I'm like, no, I literally, I can't see. Like, it's okay. I'll just ride my bike. And they're like, no, ride. And I'm like, okay. And
You want me to?
Literally, not even 15 seconds, I hit a tree.
Yeah.
I hit a tree, and I destroyed some control arm on the thing. I was like, I don't know what you guys expected
I'm
of me.
assuming there's no trees to hit out in the desert.
I mean, there's trees out there.
Yeah,
There's trees out there. Yeah, there's trees out there. We also, so we took the buggies, and when we were going with everyone, Dorian and the other owner and stuff, he took us to a sand dune spot, and as you're driving, it's off road, so there's cows and shit just walking across the road and shit. You gotta be like careful, and
you're like pretty much surrounded by sand. Just
so it's just like red clay dirt, and then we get to an area where it's super sandy.
Okay,
but
so
like you're driving by and there's just like cows everywhere.
Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Getting down and
then
dirty.
if you hop out of the car, they'll like see you and then run. But they're not fazed by the buggies at all.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
Must be used to it or something.
Yes. I want to show you this one video. Okay.
Dude, that landscape just looks sick.
It's the most beautiful place I've been to.
Wow. Look at that sun. Just smacking you in the face.
Yeah. It's such a good time. Such a good time.
That's so sick.
And we took those buggies. We drove to the picture frame arch. So it's an arch on top of. Okay, so there's a rock. Imagine a big rock.
Okay,
big rock.
That's not too hard.
Massive. Not just like a boulder. I'm talking about like land that's just sitting higher up than the rest of the land, pretty much. Okay.
A land rock.
A land rock. So now, the land is the land is like this, right? And then we drive around to the backside of this fucking land that's sitting up higher, and we climb up, and we hop out of the buggies.
You climb the rock?
Climb the rock a little bit. It's not too dangerous.
Okay.
Climb the rock a little bit, and you get to the arch. So you climb the rock, and there's an arch. It's called the picture frame arch. And I didn't understand why it was called the picture frame arch until I walk into the arch, and it's almost like imagine like like a bowl, like the shape of a fish bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfectly rotted out, and all of that is hollowed away, right in the rock.
Oh,
or
is
in the arch.
this when you FaceTime me?
No.
Oh, that was
No,
something different.
this was a different time.
Okay.
So I want to see if I can show you.
I mean, that looks like a picture frame right there.
That's the picture frame.
Okay, yeah.
But
if you stand in it, it's like you're just in this picture
yes,
frame.
that it like the landscape looks like a picture frame.
Yeah. Ah,
That's what it
yes,
is.
yes.
But where
yes.
I'm standing is essentially like a hollowed out fish bowl of rock.
Wow.
So just rock and then hollow bowl, and I'm standing right here, and this is the entrance right here.
Wow.
And the entrance is that picture frame. That's where this is aiming. It's like that is the only way to get in there.
That's
It's
sick.
weird. It's
That's
weird.
sick. Okay, I'm starting to visualize that a little bit.
Okay, so this will do a better justice. So this is the arch. In there is just all hollowed out.
I see that now. Yeah. You're out in the wild, wild west.
It's just a fucking bowl. But
when you FaceTime me, that looked like a bowl too.
okay. So that was the, I believe it's called the delicate arch. And this was one of my wonders of the world.
What?
This was a wonder of the world to me.
Really?
This is absolutely.
The picture frame or the
No, the delicate arch.
the delicate arch?
The delicate arch. And
The one that looked like the straight up land bridge.
No, that one was called something different. They all have their own names.
A lot of arches.
Yeah, a lot of arches. A lot of arches.
Yeah, there's so many I can't keep track of like
Yeah.
different ones you saw.
So when you go into the Arches National Park, I was expecting it just to be like one or two. It's a bunch. It's like over 10 arches, and they're all different. They're all built different, so they all rot differently or erode differently.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was a beautiful time. Utah, I like the whole time there. I had such a good time. The only thing that was missing was jiu-jitsu. Didn't get to train jiu-jitsu. We just didn't train
At Utah or
in Moab.
Moab.
Yeah, so I was like, "Fuck! I kind of want to make my own B team here."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That would be sick.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The only thing I was missing.
yeah.
There's no jiu-jitsu out there.
There's no jiu-jitsu. So
Okay.
the only thing is that, but it's like if I made my own gym there,
Yeah,
maybe I could bring people in.
Move out
But
there.
there's no people there. There's no like local people to like support the business. It would really just
It's
be like
pretty dry.
visitors. Yeah, dry. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be harder.
Yeah.
There's definitely places you can find that are. I know it's not the same, but the places that are similar with people.
This was me sitting on the ledge of arches, and this is like pretty much
Look at that
a cliff
landscape.
right there. Yeah.
You know, there's places that look like this.
And that's a
wow. Look, it's just balancing on that thing.
It's
dude.
crazy. That's called the delicate arch. This was the one. If you guys don't know,
There's places that look like that here in Texas.
an arch.
It's like that type of landscape out west, like
yeah.
way out west,
Yeah,
like the canyons and stuff.
yeah. I love that shit. Oh yeah. So Canyonlands, we'll talk about it as well. But arches, that was a
Wow.
That was
why
a wonderful
why
world
was
to
that
me.
one of your places like a wonder world? Why? What made you like? How many? Was it a reel you saw that was like, wow, that looks like a place that's like special? What made you pick that place?
I don't know. Just everything I saw, like Utah's whole thing, like on their license plate, it's that arch. And all the drivers like license plates, it's fucking the delicate arch with a blue sky.
The delicate arch. I like that name.
Yeah, it looks delicate. It looks
It
like
looks
if you
delicate.
blow at.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It'll
That's the
knock
first thing
over.
I said was it looks like it's balancing.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a beautiful, also a hike. So I woke up at 6 a.m. Yeah, tickets are sold out for those that national park, right? So you can't just go in. I'm pretty sure they'll turn you around. Right?
Wow.
So I would wake up before the workers are there.
Oh, really?
So I was getting up
Nice.
at like 5:30 in the morning, getting there at 6, and then just booking it straight to these arches. Getting there,
Nice.
like was like first one there. Yeah,
That's sick.
Yeah,
It's a little cheat code.
yeah,
Just get up early.
yeah. But did arches, did the Doom buggies with Dorian.
Where were you when you FaceTime me?
So I was at arches for the delicate arch. I think that's what I showed you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For a split second and the connection went out or something like that.
No, it was a nice.
It was a full call.
Lovely, full conversation.
Okay. We did that, and then a couple days later, the next day, I went to Canyonlands, which is another national park, a little bit away, 40 minutes away from Moab. Canyonlands is essentially like a canyon.
So you're saying Canyonlands?
Canyon, yeah. So it's I'm pretty much sitting on this cliff.
Dude, look at that.
And there's a road, I believe it's called Schaefer. I want to say it's Schaefer Road or Schaefer Street or whatever the fuck. An unpaved road, right? And you're driving on the cliff of all of those rocks, essentially. And it's not a very like wide thing. Maybe two cars can fit on the road, but it's still like it's kind of sketchy. And I think it's about like maybe 50 miles or something like that. 50-mile road of just going through these canyons. And like sometimes you're at the top and then you go all the way down, and it's fucking beautiful. And then it's really hard for these things to do a proper,
like a place we've seen on Minecraft.
But it's hard for these videos to give you like a proper perception of what this really looks like.
Dude, that looks
look, it's so far away. It's so like there's just so much land.
This reminds me of a video I took from the plane when flying to Trials of Vegas.
Yeah.
Because like the Vegas has that same type of dry. It's just like where you're sitting there, it's like, wow, I'm looking at the surface of the earth.
Yes.
And it looks like this. Like, isn't that crazy? Yeah. Like, it's hard to think about that, but it's like, wow, like this is the surface of the earth. Like, yeah, it's scary. Like, why does it look like this? Like, it's
Earth.
It's Earth. Like,
it's
you kind of forget
crazy.
that sometimes.
Absolutely.
Weirdly enough.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking...
Like, sometimes, maybe I'm the only one, I'm stupid, but it's like, sometimes you forget, like, we're not living in Earth, we're living on Earth. So, like...
I think a lot of people just forget or don't pay attention to the fact that, like...
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Like, you're on a massive rock. Blazing through space, dude. Like, when you're sitting there looking across this landscape, you're just like, holy cow, like,
yeah,
this is it.
Scary.
That's scary. That is pretty scary.
It's this trip really made me understand how fucking massive America is. Because it's like, god damn.
Yeah.
God, like
that's a good point.
I drive across one state, and it's like it's an entirely different biome, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like.
Did you ever play the Minecraft song at any time during your trip?
I played it on the hike back, like
the
you
hike
told me.
I got sent you. Okay, good.
I think I played it that night as well before I go to sleep.
Nice. When I saw your FaceTime, I was like, bro, this is the perfect time to play this song. Play it now.
Yeah, that song it's perfect.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. Aria Math.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, you make a good point of something I've thought before. It's like you hear so many people like, oh, I want to go to Japan, I want to travel outside the country, blah blah blah, and they haven't even explored their own country.
Yeah.
And hearing back from you just makes me believe that even more now of like, man, there's so much to see in your own country. Like,
also, it's that you can drive there, so it's like, well, not that it's a fun drive necessarily, but it's like you can drive there. Why are we not taking advantage of our abilities to do so? You know, it's like I'm absolutely, if I can fucking do stuff like this and even break even, like I didn't make a lot of money on this trip. I was happy for the fucking experience. I was happy that I could do this with Nick and our families.
Yeah,
like,
your family, like,
good time.
Dude, some people use the excuse of like, I'm one of these people sometimes of travel, and it's like, I can't afford a plane ticket, or I can't afford the travel. But it's like, well, have you even looked into it?
Yeah.
You know, you could, it's like, oh, it's 12 hours away. It's like, well, you can drive that. Like you have a car, right? Like if you really want to do it, there are ways where you can go and travel so many different, and like you said, on the way there, you're probably passing so many different cool things. Bro, like it's probably sometimes better than flying.
So much. Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely benefits. I think it's much better than flying. It's like,
For the full experience.
You get the full experience. You can go at your own pace, as well as you can move around and shit. Especially like there's pros and cons to having the truck, right? Truck is terrible in gas mileage, so I probably spent like equivalent to what a plane ride would be going to these places. But with that being said, if I really wanted to budget, like if I was alone, I would have slept in the fucking truck.
I was gonna say, did you camp at all?
I didn't get to. I really wanted to.
Yeah, you said you were wanting to.
I really wanted to, but we did like cabin. We got like a rented cabins in Wyoming, Jackson, sick. Wyoming. It was fucking.
Where
beautiful.
were you in the snow?
That was Wyoming.
That was Wyoming. Dude, that looked.
Wait, which part?
Beautiful, dude.
Which part?
Just the snow.
Just snow.
I haven't seen snow in so long. The part where like it was like your first day.
That was New Mexico. Your first day
and you were stuck. Like you were stuck in the snow.
Oh yeah, so I hit a bush. I hit a big bush, not a tree.
Why are we talking
bush.
about this?
Yeah, I was trying to avoid.
He said he had to take his truck in for an oil change today. I'm like, brother, we all know you truck.
We drove. He did it.
No, I stopped. He did it. I stopped.
Okay. So we'll mention it. We'll tell them. So at the beginning or I guess before we started filming, Josh told me we can't curse on this episode for a specific viewer of ours or someone that wants to be a viewer, right? If you want to.
Yeah. So this episode, we really wanted to make sure we weren't saying bad words because they're bad. But I have a family member of mine who is a fan of our podcast, but sometimes he can't watch all our episodes because we depend on what we're talking about. Our content's good.
I curse a lot.
Well, we both do. But he has a YouTube channel of his. He's a YouTuber that he has his own YouTube channel where he does gaming content, a lot of VR content. And
what's the channel?
His channel is at ICE, so ICEE, and then GTAGYT. So it's like ICE G tag YouTube. If you just want to look at it. That's the handle. So guys, I just said his handle. If y'all could go subscribe to his YouTube channel, that would be sick.
Oh, he plays the monkey game.
Yes. He's big. Can you bleep that out? Can you bleep that out, Jim?
It's going to be so hard for Jim.
Hey, bleep that out.
I love the monkey game, actually.
Yes. Jay's really big into VR.
Just subscribed.
You like VR games. But yeah, guys, go subscribe to his YouTube channel. I always think it's really cool that someone's trying to, I guess, do something out of the norm, right? A lot of people would think, having a YouTube channel, it's like, oh, why are you doing that? But he really enjoys it, and he's really like in the character when he goes into it, and he loves doing it. So go show some support. Shout out to Gabe. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold it some, okay?
You have to put it all the way in.
Okay. Just breathe out if.
Mom, can you just do it?
I know I shouldn't curse in front of my mom, but cauliflower ear sucks. I use Caulibuds ear magnets. I really wish I would have had these magnets, but my ears were messed up. These keep my cauliflower ear at bay. They're the original and best quality cauliflower ear magnets on the market. Step 1, drain your ear. Step 2, pick your buds. Step 3, put them on your ear. Make the right decision. Invest in these Caulibuds so your ears don't look like chicken nuggets like mine. Check them out on Amazon or Caulibuds.com. I had ears. Train with your buds.
We were at You Nailed a Bush.
Yeah. So we're driving. It's an 11-hour drive to New Mexico. We get on this road. It's 20 miles of just snow. It's very weird. I was not expecting snow in New Mexico, right?
Yeah.
We get there. I'm like, all right, well, all these trucks are like they've all fallen off the side of the road and. All right, I'm gonna lock in here.
Lock in, baby.
All right. So all the trucks are falling off the side of the road, and we're like, all right, we just gotta go. Like, this is our only way. 20-mile road. We gun it, and I gunned it.
I gunned it.
So yeah, so I ended up hitting a bush, and as I lost traction, I had a few ideas of where I could have gone, and I feel like if there wasn't a woman and a dog in my vehicle, I would have done the proper thing, but I almost relented and like didn't.
Explain.
Okay, so I feel like if I maybe not relented, but almost like panicked a little bit, because the situation was different. I feel like what happened was there's a turn coming up, and I didn't see the turn, right? 'Cause it's dark outside.
Yeah, it looked dark, and the snow makes it sometimes
worse.
Yeah, 'cause you can't.
So it's dark. There's a turn coming up, and I'm like, I'm going way too fast. So I tap the brakes, immediately locks up, just because there's no traction. Like it's
Oh, you mean lock up as in like sliding?
Yeah. So there's like the road was untouched essentially. The only person that's touched it before me is Nicky Rod. And
I saw in the video. It was thick snow.
Yeah.
It was
it was pretty strong. I would say like maybe a foot and a half of snow. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I don't know. But yeah, I tap the brakes and I start sliding, and I feel like if I was more comfortable in the truck, and if I was more confident in my ability, because I've just gotten the truck essentially. I've no experience in driving trucks in snow. I have experience with my FRS, my old car, but there's a pole and there's a tree, and then there's the road going this way. And I was like, I could maybe not gas it too hard, but gas it a little bit and then go with it and maybe whip the rear end. But the downside of that, if that didn't work out, I would have hit the pole, which could have damaged a vehicle.
So there's a straight up like metal pole there.
Yeah, it was a metal pole. It wasn't like a thick pole or anything. It was just, I think it was more like a mile marker type of deal.
Oh, okay.
But still, I don't want to damage the truck. So instead, I just go straight, miss the pole, and I ended up hitting the bush. Now, I say bush because if you look at the bush, it's a bush. It's not a tree, right? If you hit a tree, your vehicle is going to be damaged.
So
right?
what makes you think it was so?
I'll show
All right,
you.
let's break this down. What is the characteristics of a bush and the characteristics of a tree? What are the difference?
If you were to look at this plant and open up a book about plants and be like which one is this? It's going to be in the bush section.
That's a great description.
It's going to be in the bush section. Let me see if I have
Did
a
it have
photo
a
of it.
trunk? Like a tree trunk? Did it have like a...
No.
Was it just like a lot of vegetation? In a circle? Oh, that's a bush.
Yeah, so I mean the truck is perfectly fine. Did
it go up
untouched.
underneath, or did it stop your truck?
It stopped the truck.
Dang.
But it wasn't like sudden. Like there's a lot of brush,
So
and
did
also the truck slowed down as I was braking, and
So
also
did the front hit the bush and you like boom,
No.
or did it like go like over and like?
we went up it.
It
was like
that's a tree, brother.
So I'll show you it.
If you went up this thing and it's bigger than your truck, it's a tree.
It was like downhill as we go off road. It wasn't just not downhill, but it was like down, and then we go up, and then there's a tree right there. Bush.
He said we went up it.
Let's see.
Oh my god! You have like a 20-foot tall truck, and you had to go up this thing.
That
is not a bush.
That's the benefit of having a vehicle like this.
gosh.
We can do things like that.
That's funny. That is funny.
Okay.
I was gonna say
This might be the best.
you had to take a picture of the bush.
So you can see the tracks of where I went off road, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right there. And it goes straight to the bush. You see that way back there?
Okay,
That's a bush, brother.
that's a bush. If it's got a certain roundness to it, it's a bush.
It's a bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Okay, this is a little bit better. It's a bush. It's a bush.
That's a cluster of Christmas trees.
Next conversation. Next conversation.
Holy cow! It's a massive bush.
It was a big bush. It was a big bush. With that being said, truck is literally untouched. My tank is okay.
Just bulldoze through that thing.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Oh my God.
There's a little branch stuck in the grill, so I kept it.
Okay, I want to go back to the whole like your I found it interesting as far as your mentality shift of during this happening, because you had other people in the car. It was like, oh no, like
Exactly.
oh no. But you said if you were by yourself, there's just been like,
I feel like I would have reacted differently. Yeah, because I was like more worried about I don't know.
like
keeping
my
myself-
actions could get someone else killed.
Yeah, yeah. So I just kind of panicked. Whereas I feel like if I
how do you mean you like did? Please tell me you like screamed out.
well no, but the moment I tapped on brakes, I just like, fuck, here we go.
Yeah.
It wasn't like any like outward.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm about to get earfuls.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Yeah. Where were we at prior to talking about the tree in New Mexico? We were just bringing up Wyoming.
I just brought up the snow. I was like, I saw a video of you in the thick snow.
That's right. So we did Canyonlands. I honestly didn't think I was going to talk about this stuff this much this episode.
It's sick stuff.
It is great stuff. We did Canyonlands, and then we took off to Salt Lake City, Utah, where we taught at Crown BJJ. And we were there for a short period of time, just the weekend, and then we took off to Wyoming, which was an 6 or 8 hour drive to Jackson, Wyoming, and we stood there for about 4 or 5 days, and just snowy cabin, made a bonfire every night.
Wow.
You know, home cooked meals.
That's awesome.
This small town, like a shopping center and stuff like that. It was very cool. And then right after that, like a little break there, we took off to South Dakota, taught there, and then this is one of my favorite parts of the trip.
Oh yeah.
So we, on the way home, right? So South Dakota to Austin is, I would assume, well over 20 hours. So we drive down to Denver, which is 6 hours, Denver, Colorado, 6 hour drive. We stay there for a night. Next, we wake up, we train at high altitude, mixed martial arts, I want to say. Nicky Rod sets up a session with Curtis Blades and all those big heavyweight guys because they're training over there. And what did we do? Guess who else was there?
At this
Cory
gym.
Sandhagen. Cory Sandhagen.
Cory Sandhagen.
Yes,
Nice. Did you get to talk to him?
I got to talk to him.
Nice.
So Nick, I believe Nick invited him, or just like asked him, because I believe Cory trains there. I'm not entirely sure if that's his full-time gym, but he trains there, and he didn't get to train with us, but we got to talk to him after the session. It was cool picking his brain.
Yeah. It's a good person
There's
to pick
a
your brain.
few things. Yes, he's very I guess like analytical, and he has like all like different arcs. I guess like the way he was talking about how after his Aldra fight, he kind of read a few books, trying to almost like war books and stuff like that, like trying to get pull a certain side of him out. And then talked a lot about how he's reading more peaceful books now, and then also his mentality when going into competition. And I relate a lot more with his mentality as opposed to someone like Nicky Rod, where he doesn't always believe that he is going to win a fight like throughout the camp. He believes it, you know, the day of the fight. He truly believes it. He's like confident in his abilities and whatnot. But throughout the camp, it's like up and down. His confidence kind of like.
It's so interesting to me.
I love this because this is like it's just being real as opposed to like putting on some sort of facade.
1000%.
It's like like Nick was like, well, you don't like absolutely believe that you're gonna go out there and like beat this guy. And we're like, he's like, the day of, yeah, but like leading up to like the fight, like the whole camp was like, that's it's almost exhausting to be that way.
I was great. I have a awesome topic to talk about. Maybe we can get into it now.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish your point as well, but I was going to say maybe because that's just, it's irrelevant to think about. I'm not trying to win the fight right now. I'm trying to prepare for the fight. So why should I be thinking about if I'm going to win it or not?
I completely agree with this.
Like,
I don't know if that's his reasoning for it, but like just the fact that he's being real and being like, no, I don't always believe that I'm gonna win. You know, undoubtedly every single fight.
how does he? Did he touch on if that affects him mentally at all? Like if during those times where he has thoughts where like, I don't think I'm going to win this match. Does that start to affect his preparation for the match?
I didn't ask him, but he did talk to me about because I mentioned to him, I was like,
guys, get your pencils and notebook out.
Yeah, this is the as Josh would say, the meat and potatoes.
The meat and potatoes.
So he told me he doesn't believe in manifestation.
Wow.
Doesn't believe in manifestation. So with that being said, that would mean it's fate, and it's already in order. Like it's whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Wow. So once again, having some sort of form of like divine
or like,
being,
yes,
in the mix of this
higher power.
Wow.
And I also, I guess throughout this, I wanted to mention that I felt I don't know why, but I don't always feel comfortable right now. Maybe it's because I feel like I'm not doing a good job of reading the Bible, but I felt the closest to him, I guess.
To God?
This road trip. I'm not sure why.
Interesting.
I feel like I just a lot of appreciating my ability to, like, my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Appreciating the ability to appreciating my ability to to teach to teach, travel wherever I want at my own will. With this being said, I also added to my the Polaroid.
Did you bring that with you?
I added a wonder to the world, or to my list.
The arches. That's
No. Yes, I added the arches to the book. That is officially added. Check. But I also added one to the list of something I have to do. We'll talk about it later.
Dude, I'm jealous of your photo book, because like I want to visit my own list as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
you have to, like,
I have to do it before I die.
You got to do this
Before I get old, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was thinking this on the drive back here, because it's a 15-hour drive from Colorado to Austin, and I'm like, whole drive, obviously I'm just thinking about the conversation I had with Cory, thinking about
that would have got me thinking. That would have got me thinking hard.
So yeah, thinking about the conversation with Cory, and it's so hard not to curse.
I know it is hard for me too. It lets you know how much you do it, like not even realizing you do it. You know?
Yeah.
Just this episode is just this.
We're holding through.
Yeah.
For you, Gabe.
For you, Gabe. This is for you.
But I forget where I was going. Thinking about, what was I thinking about on the road trip? You mentioned
what Cory Sandhagen said. You're thinking about it in trip, and you're like, oh.
I got distracted by this, so I'll talk about this now. So what else Cory Sandhagen was talking about? We were talking about, brought up to him how we're on a road trip right now, and he's like, somehow cops and like getting tickets came up. Also, I got one ticket. Nick got two. Nice. And then he bought a cop radar.
Nice. Solve the problem.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, problem solved. And Cory was like, man, I hate when those small mountain towns, they give me tickets. I thought it was so funny because it was like more personality from him than what we were.
He's kind of a wild guy a little bit. What I've seen on his social media.
I asked him about something with his mindset, and he was like, well, here, I'm kind of a weird guy. He started with that, and I was like, Yeah, I got
That's
that.
fine.
I know. Just from his like the way he speaks, he just thinks so much.
I like that.
I like it as well. There's like, man, I hate when those cops from those mountain towns, they give me tickets. I fight all those tickets. And we're sitting there laughing. We're like, what do you mean you fight the tickets? He's like, I'll wait for that Zoom call. I'll tell them, I'll give them every excuse. I'll tell them, man, it was a new car. I didn't know what this speed felt like. I had to poop. and I'm like, I told him, I was like, you have time for this? You have time for this? And his eyes got so wide, just filled with passion. And he was like, oh yeah.
Really?
It was so funny talking to him.
That's like one of his just pet peeves.
It's just like
tickets.
Yeah, just like passionate about it. It was funny. But overall, great experience meeting him.
I'd like to continue on this topic. I had something written down of just stuff that Cory Sandhagen brought up to you. I wrote down these notes from a video I watched of Ben Askren talking, and he called it the cowboy mentality, is what he called it. And basically, the video talks about like kind of like how you were saying a little bit. I'm gonna try to put this in my own words of how like Cory was saying that, during my fight leading up to a match, like I don't always believe I'm going to win, or sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to win, blah, 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 Everyone's like, no, you have to believe you're the best. You got to blah, blah, blah. Ben Askren was talking about some of the, he's noticed in being on high-level wrestling teams and now coaching for a long time. He goes, some of the best wrestlers I've come across have this something called a cowboy mentality. He goes, when they can't build up competition anxiety, because in their head, they're just showing up to the match, and they don't. He goes, sometimes it's these people like the Craig Jones and stuff who like they'll party, they don't do everything right, blah blah blah, and because of that, there is no anxiety when they compete because they're like, I'm living a life of why would I think I'm going to win? Like, why would I think I'm going out there and just blast this guy? I hope I do well. I think I'm prepared. But he goes, this cowboy mentality is I'll show up, I'll fight, and I don't care if I lose or not.
It's whatever it is. They're not worried about the outcome because it's already like set in stone.
Yeah,
it's already fate.
That's what he said. The cowboy mentality is like they just live every life, or they live every day of their life as if there isn't a match coming up, right? Like John Jones, another example. If I planned, I'm not saying go do this, but I'm saying if I plan to go do cocaine this weekend and then I sign a contract of a fight, I'm not going to change that. I'm still going to go do it. Because like that's just part of my life, blah, 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 whatever. Or if I was going to take time off to go see my family and then now the match is a week after that, I'll probably still do that. And because they just live their life like that, they don't overthink these matches. It's just something that's part of, it's just on their calendar now. No different than on their calendar to go celebrate some 7-year-old's birthday party in their family.
Grab some groceries.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's another thing to put on the calendar. Okay, I'll do that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's so interesting because he talked about, then you have those people who are like type A people who are like, I have to do everything right. I got to prepare perfect for this match. And because of that, they build up competition anxiety because they're overthinking this thing. It's just a match. Yep. Like you're starting to make this match become something bigger than just a match, which it's not. Yeah. He goes, I think that then you have those people who are the cowboy mentality that if they did do more things right, that they would be even better. He goes, so you have to marry the two. Yeah. You have to find...
It's like balance.
You have to find a spot where you're not like, oh, I got to train 3 times a day, and if I miss one day, then I'm going to lose, like blah, blah, blah. It's got to be a mixture of some days you don't give a F, and some days, I'll go hard today or next day, you know what I mean? So it confuses me, but I believe there is a line.
Absolutely.
Find the line is the hard part.
You have to find the line for yourself. What works for yourself. It's not just like, oh, well, this works for Bo Nickel, so I'm not going to train every Wednesday.
Yeah. But like, I don't train Wednesday. It works for me, brother.
But
I will not be there tomorrow.
But yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to find the balance. Find what works for you best.
Yeah, but with that being said, it was interesting that Cory kind of said a similar thing of like, wait, like during your fight camp, you're not like telling yourself in the mirror every day, like, I'm going to win. I'm like, no, I don't, because I don't know if I'm going to win. Some days, heck, I even think I'm going to lose. So that's very, very interesting. Man, so I wonder if, cause I heard John Jones say the same thing where he was like, he goes, leading up to my fight sometimes, I think I'm going to get knocked out.
Oh, he's
There's a video he's talking about it.
Rampage Jackson.
Yeah, he's like, I just kept thinking about I'm going to get knocked out.
He would have dreams.
Yeah, he'd have dreams like I'm going to lose. I'm going to get knocked out. And blah, 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 blah. And you go in and you have a good performance.
Yeah.
Is it, I don't know. I'm kind of, I'm posing a question. I wonder if it's like you've already accepted the worst outcome and you honestly believe the worst outcome is going to happen. So anything that happens above this is like a good day, you know? Like,
I don't think it's that. I think it's more maybe a shade of that. I think I saw him talking about where it's like I think he was talking about his fight with Francis Ngannou, where he was like, okay, if I fight this guy, he's got crazy knockout power, and he's like, okay, so what's the worst that can happen? He knocks me out unconscious, and then I lose the fight, and then. He's like, okay, well, how can I like almost like build off of that, or like build himself like almost away from that. He's like, okay, well, I just thinking about all the positives that he's just like, okay, well, I'm quicker than him. I've got more technical striking. I've got grappling, and just kind of like accepting that, okay, I can get knocked unconscious and lose. And then just, okay, accepting it and now work from there.
Yeah. I think you put more pressure on yourself if you're like, I accept I accept nothing but me winning.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. It's more real. I feel like it's more real as opposed to just like, no, I'm absolutely, I will win.
I think by people admitting that, it then, like I said, how some people bring a match and they put it up if it's something bigger. By keeping it real, it keeps your understanding of that this is just a match real as well. You know what I mean? It's like it keeps everything grounded.
Yeah.
Of like, it's just a match. I can lose. I can win.
Nothing really changes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But it's like, oh my God, this could be the end of my career if I lose. Like, no, stop.
Yeah.
But the whole manifestation thing, I don't know if I agree with.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't like to think I don't have control of my own life.
And I think it's different. I don't think it's like I think our manifestation is okay. Well, I think there's a lot of red cars out. We talked about this before.
Yeah, because I think a lot of part of my life I have kind of manifested a little bit.
Absolutely.
Or did I?
Or was it the higher power? Was it fate?
Yeah.
Was it fate?
That's a good point. I don't know. I need to know. Guys, this is literally what I think about every day. When people are like, hey, did you watch the football game? I'm like, no, I did not watch the football game.
Sitting here.
I've been sitting here just, what does this mean? Literally. But yeah, it's like, oh, I manifested. It's like, wait, did you?
Did you?
And I like to think, though, it's like, man, that's so interesting. Because it's like, all right, you go back to the whole example of like, luck is a bus that comes by and you have to be, the ticket is your preparation. It's like, well, so I've done the preparation. That's not fate.
But you are, it can always be fate, though.
That's true.
It can always be fate, right? It can always be just chucked up well, he wanted me to do this.
I understand fate, and I do believe in that. Like, I believe in God put me here for a reason.
Yeah.
I just think sometimes that reason can be more of like a blanket umbrella statement, and I just do it within these rails, right? It's like God put me here to make people happy. Well, that could be several different things.
Yeah.
And
are you gonna be a comedian or are you gonna be a clown?
Yeah, exactly. It's like I think, well, don't I pick that?
Yeah.
But my fate is still to be a comedian. But am I going to be a clown? Am I going to be stand-up comedy? Like. So I do believe in fate within guidelines, right? Because interesting, same topic we're on right now. I watched that documentary Chance about Chance Marsteller.
Tell Nicky Rod.
Long story short, at the end of the documentary, I'm not giving any secrets. It's out there on the documentary, but he was an opioid addict, addicted to fentanyl, which is like one of the worst things you could take to kill you. Documentary is insane. I suggest you go watch it. You learn a lot. At the end, he goes, I realized that God, everyone comes back around to God, dude. People who change their lives. It's this dude. It's this man, I swear. He goes, at the end of the documentary, he says, I realized that God did not put me here to be a great wrestler. I realized that he put me here to use wrestling as a way to help and inspire other people's lives to get over drugs with my story. He goes, he used me and wrestling to deliver this story to help other people. So when other people pray to God, hey, God, I want you to help me get over this drug addiction I have. I'm their prayer. God used me to answer their prayer.
As like an example.
Yeah. And I was like, wow. Isn't that crazy? You're literally one of the greatest wrestlers of all time in high school. I mean, beating Jordan Burroughs twice, like blah, blah, blah. Never lost. 4-time state champion in Pennsylvania, never lost in high school. That's insane. And for him to sit there and realize like this isn't even who I am. This is not.
It wasn't my doing.
Yeah, wasn't my doing. This wasn't even the real reason why I was supposed to be here. Like, wow, that's so interesting.
Interesting.
So interesting. That's the most I could say. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's. I'm glad you got to talk to Cory. I liked.
Yeah.
I like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like talking to people who think the same way I do, and think the same way I do, but have different opinions than I do, because then it really makes you think.
Yeah.
And if you trust what they're saying, I trust what they're saying because they think the same way I do, so I trust myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's like if it's coming out of your mouth and you think the way I do, then it definitely, I have to respect it to like think about it at least.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. I don't know why that stuck with me. So it stuck with me to the point where I had to write it down. He just so like nonchalantly said, I don't believe in manifestation.
Jason Nolf said the same thing a little bit
Really?
of like on the podcast with y'all. He said something about like you love winning. Y'all asked him like, you love winning so much that when you do lose, how do you accept it?
It was like he just chucks it up to God.
Yeah, he was like, well, God just wanted me to lose today.
Exactly. He didn't want me to win today. It can always just be chucked up.
I definitely dabble in a lot of that. I do think a lot of what I do is because God wants me to be here. Yeah. And if I want something or I pray for something and I don't get it, it's because God knows better than me that I don't need that right now. Yeah. It's later. So I do believe a lot of that stuff, but I always like you said, I have a little bit of a line of like, well, I do think some of the stuff I do I manifested. Yes. It's like, yeah.
It's tough.
It's tough to say. But good topic for sure.
So I guess that was pretty much the entire trip that I got to talk about. 15-hour drive home. I went to sleep at 6 a.m. yesterday, or I guess today, 6 a.m. today.
Wow.
So I slept for about 5.5 hours. Woke up, trained, grabbed this, which I'm about to show you guys.
Oh boy!
And then
is this going to be like is it going to be like a scene from the Joker? Have you seen the Joker?
No, it's not. It's not going to be like that. So I'm very fortunate for this.
Yeah.
I have a new personal sponsor.
Oh, nice.
So I have a new sponsor. I have Killer Defense.
They followed me on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Killer Defense. So essentially, they're a company. They sell pretty much anything about firearms that you can think of. They don't necessarily sell firearms. I think this is a like a collab that they did with a company, but they sell stuff like body armor, night vision goggles, helmets, ear protection, etc. Pretty much all the stuff, belts for like firearms and stuff like that. All the little goodies you can think of.
Everything you need.
Yeah, everything you need. So essentially, my goal is to be sponsored by them and obviously support their business exponentially because I'm very grateful. We also talked about something in the gym that I want to talk about with this, but
okay. I remember.
This
is very you, by the way.
What?
Like, just a gun. Like this is something I feel like you're just going to carry around the house for no reason. Just carry around.
Yeah. So he sent me this.
I'm excited. I'm getting excited just unzipping that bag.
I'm so excited as well.
Oh, yes. Look at that, dude.
This is a pistol.
No, it's not.
It counts as a pistol.
What?
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can grab this thing. Oh, we also didn't talk about my hand.
No, we got to talk about that too. A lot of stuff to talk about. Does this shoot 9mm rounds?
I don't know what this shoots.
It has to be if it's a pistol. If it shoots anything more than 9mm, that cannot be a pistol legally. That's a pistol, guys.
What do we think, baby? What do we think?
I love it. That is sick. That color is sick.
Yeah. So this has the. Let me not point.
And
this at anyone.
this was made.
The Killer Defense logo, right by my finger.
I was gonna say this was made by Killer Defense.
I believe this was a collab with another company. I'm not entirely sure of all the information with this guy. But I will soon learn.
Can I hold it actually?
Yeah,
I want to see how heavy it is. Nice, dude.
It's nice, right?
Dude, that's sick.
That was my first time touching her.
Oh, really?
That was my first time touching her.
Good.
I'm very excited. Very excited to be partnering with Killer Defense. If you guys ever need...
Matches your hat.
If you ever need... Thank you. If you guys ever need any body armor, night vision goggles... Are you kidding me? Night vision goggles? Seriously... If the world ever ends, you need shit like this. I need all my firearms before the world ends or the government tries to take them from me.
Yes.
All right?
More firearms.
More firearms. So obviously, greatly appreciate Killer Defense. We were talking about gifts.
Yes.
In the gym. What were you talking about with this topic, gifts?
The reason why I brought up the topic is because I was offered a match for Fury on UFC Fightpass. Mm-hmm. I wish he never would have asked me because it's been bothering me ever since.
I think it's something you should do. It's because it's a good, and I don't know if Nick told you this, but it's a good entry into getting into that scene of...
I don't doubt that I shouldn't do it. That's not the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is...
Time.
The timing.
Yeah.
And do I do it when I know I'm not 100%?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to say.
That's the hard part.
It's like, at what percentage will you be competing at? And what, like, how well will you be able to compete against this guy? And would you be confident in beating this guy at 50% of your, capabilities?
Yeah, like myself, I feel good, but
Yeah.
my knee specifically,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that doesn't feel 100. Could I possibly blow a chance of getting more matches in UFC if I go out there and just get heel hooked in 10 seconds and have to tap early because of my knee or something, and my knee blows out super easy?
Yeah.
When I could have just waited 3 more months and waited for another opportunity and then perform really well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
It's tough to say.
And then now that he asked me, I'm like, no, I'm thinking too hard about this. But anyway, I was like, I told Jay, I was like, man, I really just want a match on UFC Fight Pass Invitational just so I can get the rash guard. I don't care if I win or lose. I literally just want the rash guard.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's something that I would not accept as a gift from anyone, that I would want to get it myself.
Stuff like that. That's why I thought about my firearm. Stuff like that is so much better than paying money for this. Like, I don't want, like, I want to be earned, or like I want to earn this.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to be gifted a gun and begin a sponsorship, a partnership with this company. I'm more than grateful for the ability to have the rash guards that I have from Fight Pass. Stuff like that, like you can't really, it's not worth paying for. It's almost like it's not the same.
No, because you're paying for a title. You know what I mean? It's no different than paying for a belt. Like, okay, why is fighting on UFC Fight Pass prestigious? Because not everyone gets to do it. You have to get invited. You have to think you're good enough. Same thing with like we brought up other wrestling tournaments that if you make it to the finals of certain wrestling tournaments, you get singlets.
Yeah.
I have a BCD singlet, which is a really big national tournament in high school, and there's a lot of other ones who hand out stuff. And it's like people see that and they're like, wow, because they know what you had to go through to get it. So if you're someone who's trading that or buying that, again, wearing that, knowing that you didn't go through the same thing that guy did,
It's not the same.
stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
There's just some things where, like, for the longest time, people asked me at B-Team, even though I was staff when I started doing wrestling classes there. They're like, someone asked me, why don't you come through the back door like the rest of the guys? At the time, I wasn't coming through the back door. They asked me why I didn't come through the back door and why didn't I change in the staff room? And I said, because I don't think I've deserved it yet. And I still don't think I do, to be honest. But George, gave me a key. He's like, hey, start coming through the back door because we're after your classes, like, or just like, because I
want to lock up.
Yeah, I stay after. So they lock the front door. And he goes, you can start going through the back door now. I was like, oh, thanks. But in my head, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll do it. But I still don't change in the staff room. And I don't shower at B-Team. I go home because I kind of live close.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's an example of like, I don't want it. I feel like that's just a title you earn.
So when do you think you'll earn this? Because you're already staff. You already get the keys to the back door. When do you think you'll earn your capability to change in front of me?
I've already changed in front of you. But what?
I know.
Yes. But as far as that, I feel like it'd have to be, I don't know. I don't know.
You win a competition or something, or
Win something really big. And if it never happens, then you're never allowed to see me naked. Sorry. But yeah, that's a tough question.
so you win like your Fightpass fight or something like that. Or?
I think before in my head I said podium at trials. If I podium at trials, I'm like, okay, I can come through the back door now. But so many people are like, they already see me as like, why don't you come through the back door? Or like, why don't you change in there? Like you're good, your staff, whatever. I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't feel.
There's some people that aren't staff and aren't good that change in the staff room.
I know, and I know, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't like ever being that guy. I don't like being the guy that like I just think I've earned something. Like,
Yeah.
well, your thinking could be biased on what you've earned. It's, do these other people who have already done what you want to do they think you've earned it?
Yeah.
That's more of an appropriate perspective to look through than your own. So I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about? Oh yes, I have to talk about the thing I added to my bucket list.
I was gonna say I have a lot, but I think some of this stuff to go into another episode.
Okay.
But go
Should
ahead.
we talk about my thing and then because you have to leave? Yeah.
Yeah, we have time.
Okay. So I told you I added a thing to the bucket list of Polaroids, right?
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, I use a Polaroid camera pretty much everywhere I go. And specifically, I started when I was in Europe. I started taking photos. I take 3 photos, and I have a row of 3 photos of wonders of the world and things that to me are wonders of the world, right? And with that being said, Stonehenge isn't a wonder of the world.
That's crazy.
It's a wonder of the world to me, so I put it in there,
Yeah.
right? So I got Stonehenge, I've got the Colosseum in Italy, and I've got arches now. Arches to me, specifically the Delicate Arch, is a wonder of the world to me, so I put it in my book. I have a few other things in this list, but I have just added yesterday. Can you guess what I added?
Based off your trip, or is
It has absolutely nothing. It's completely random.
give me one hint.
Wait. Don't say anything. You can say other stuff not relating to this, but
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I think I think I might know what you're gonna pull up.
really,
Maybe. Ready to play a song?
I'm gonna see if I can.
Guys, listen up. Listen up.
I don't know.
This place. 50,000 people used to live in the city. Now it's a ghost town. Never seen anything like it.
I know who that is. I know what game that is, but I'm trying to remember what he's talking about.
You don't know what I was talking about?
Is it a place in London?
Ukraine.
Ukraine. Oh, it's in Ukraine.
It's a place in Ukraine.
Okay, it's not by chance like this abandoned city on top of a mountain, is it?
It's abandoned town, yeah.
Okay, tell me.
Chernobyl.
Okay.
Chernobyl.
Why there? What does it look like? I've never heard of this.
Isn't there a not a fucking merry-go-round, what? Ferris wheel. There's a Ferris wheel in Chernobyl.
Like an abandoned Ferris wheel.
The whole town's abandoned. You know what? You know Chernobyl? Like the whole deal with. Oh. Okay.
No, brother. I'm
Okay,
American. I don't live in Ukraine.
So driving, I don't know why this popped in my head, but driving. Oh, okay. So I'm driving 14, 15 hours home yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. I'm listening to Joe Rogan podcast, and they bring up Chernobyl, and I'm like, I want to listen to some facts about Chernobyl.
Yeah.
So I put on a documentary while I'm listening to it, and I'm like, I'm going.
So the first thing they say is, we think there's ghosts here, and there's like, all right, let me put this down.
So
with the wonder of the world.
I believe Craig went here, right? Jim, do you remember if Craig went to Chernobyl or not? I
went to a war-torn place.
He went to.
It's a, what do you call a place? Radiation.
Radiation, yes, yeah. So, yeah. So Chernobyl is.
Better tell Killer Defense, get you gas mask.
So it's. Yeah, you can't live there. Yeah, so it's not it's not habitable for like another 20,000 years.
Damn, tell you shouldn't be there at all.
So essentially, I believe in the midst of what was it, the Cold War? I think there's a bunch of stuff going on, politics, whatnot. I don't know the full backstory with the political stuff, but essentially, there's a nuclear power plant that was going on in Chernobyl, and they were doing a test. One of the tests failed, and the thing just exploded, went haywire and exploded, and
Dang.
it emitted like a crazy amount of radiation across everywhere. Like it's ruined. I want to say the number was like it's affected from 4,000 to 90,000 lives. I think it might be
like a nuclear bomb just went off.
Essentially, yeah. And but it's not like a big boom, and then it's done. It's like boom, and then the radiation just went everywhere and fucking destroyed lives, essentially. So it was, it's been killing people for years, like people that were affected and nearby. And the bad part of it was really the political side, where they had the incident happen, and instead of going the safe way and be like, hey, like, listen guys, like, let's evacuate the area, like, this isn't safe, there's radiation, whatnot, the government pretty much just didn't they just reassured the people that there's nothing wrong.
Wow.
And there's nothing to be worried about, and there's people dying of like radiation sickness and stuff like that. Just thousands of lives were pretty much.
I'm assuming this. Oh, never
ruined.
mind.
What?
I was gonna say something really, really stupid, but I'm just not even gonna say it.
1986.
1986.
Yeah. Where are you? Is that where you're asking?
No. It's something even dumber than that. I'm embarrassed to say.
But I feel like I have to go here. And now it's safe for.
Sounds like a very interesting trip. It's like a real life Fallout.
Yeah.
Fallout 4.
Pretty much. I think also it's affected, the wildlife and stuff like that.
I wonder if there's like mutated animals there.
I think so.
What?
Yeah, I think like if you go fishing at places nearby, Like, I could have sworn there's like some guy caught a fish that was like mutated. This also could be just
Why do
wrong.
you want to go there specifically? What are you wanting to see that you think is there?
I want to. I get a specific image.
Well, the Polaroid.
With the Polaroid, yeah. And I want a Polaroid of that Ferris wheel and that abandoned pool. You've seen this you've been to Chernobyl and Call of Duty.
I for sure have.
You absolutely have.
Yeah.
I have a specific image with this.
You just play that game again and get your Polaroid up to the TV and just.
I could do something like that. I could. But man, it's just like.
No, you got to go there.
Doing these things, like doing the road trip, is like, man, like if I have the ability to do these things, why would I not take my offers, or at least put my hand out and like see if anyone's fucking willing to.
Yeah,
like
no, you're 100% right.
the other two things. So I'm going. I believe in May, I'm going to Portugal. I'll be teaching a camp with
Nice.
Dima. And then right after that, I'm trying to figure out a way for me to do a camp in Egypt, because I'm like, F-U, there's not the full word right there. I'm going to be in Portugal. I might as well go to Egypt, because Egypt got the pyramids of Giza. That's another wonder of the world. I'm like, let me do that. So I'm trying to teach at link up with a gym and see if that's doable. On top of Jordan. So Portugal, Egypt, Jordan. Jordan has the Petra statue that you've seen in Transformers. That sand stuff. That, and then I'm looking on the map, and Ukraine is just a hair above.
It's calling your name over here.
It's just a hair above Jordan. I'm like, man, I wonder. I've got time to like try to reach out. So
For sure.
if you're in Ukraine, and you run a gym, I guess specifically Kyiv would be ideal. I don't know what the current state is with the whole Russia trying to take over. I don't know if that's settled or.
People are assuming that with Donald Trump in office now that should start to
cool down.
We'll
Interesting.
see what he can do.
I don't know. I don't keep up with politics or the news or anything. So
When I flew
sure.
to Kazakhstan, that was like during the peak of the start of
And how was it?
Russian and Ukraine. I don't think Kazakhstan had anything crazy to do with it, but that was like a thought of mine. I was like, is it safe to fly in the air near there? Like, am I get shot down?
Yeah.
It wasn't a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So I guess Chernobyl is northern part of Ukraine. So I guess Kyiv is also north.
Yeah, you'll
Kyiv
actually
is
be
like
in the mix if something is going on there.
because it's bordering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I would definitely love to visit Ukraine, specifically Chernobyl. If anyone they got an in, reach out, please reach out. I would love to teach a seminar or something, and just I want to visit. With that being said, was there anything else I wanted to mention? There's a lot of thoughts on.
I was gonna say there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to save it
We
for the
have
next.
to,
I'm gonna save it for the
yeah.
next podcast.
Damn it.
But I would like to end out with a quote
Let's hear it.
that I'd like to talk about next podcast. So stay tuned, guys. This is from a quote from the Alex Reminds You guy that he said,
okay.
and I agree with this quote so much, and I'll explain why on the next episode. You've heard this before. A good life is not a life that is easy. A good life is a life that turns you into a good person. And that, my son, is a hard life. All right, leave it at that.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Dawg House Podcast. We appreciate all your support as always. Please support the companies that support us or the company. Caulibuds, tried and true. They've been sticking with us through everything. We endlessly appreciate their support. Magnets for your ears. Drain your cauliflower ear whenever it's all filled up. Plug those up or put those magnets on, and you'll be good to go. No more fluid filling up those ugly ears of yours. As well as we have a package being delivered tomorrow.
Ooh, tomorrow.
Oh yeah, tomorrow. So you guys soon to see on that package. You'll see soon.
Good stuff.
But yeah, thank you guys for tuning into the Dawg House Podcast. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.